Hi everybody, I hope that you're doing great. Adrian Nelson here from ahngreatlife.com, and I wanted to make you this quick video just to speak to you about the number one fear that people have when it comes to regression hypnosis, or what is also sometimes referred to as past life regression. Just FYI, past life regression is basically a division of regression hypnosis. I've made some videos about those things in the past. I've made some videos about some other fears that people have in the past, like getting stuck in trance, because I mean, boy oh boy, does the media really, drive fear and misconception when it comes to regression hypnosis. Sometimes, you get all this really gory, scary, really sort of terrifying imagery of what it must be like to be in the hypnotic state. So I'm not going to do the little ticky fingers on top, whichever way it even is, because I'm not very tech savvy and I'm probably going to get that wrong. But what I will do is at the end of the video, with those suggested videos, I'll put a couple of other ones for you as well, if you want to have a deeper understanding. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm a regression hypnosis practitioner. I started to study regression hypnosis in 2018. I studied quite a couple of different modalities. I also studied NLP, CBT, the Silver method, a whole lot of other things really. And I still continue to study it because, knowledge is incredible. And the more I know, the more I'm able to help you, and you learn through every session. So in this video, I want to speak about the number one fear that people have when it comes to having a regression hypnosis session done. And the way that I know that this is the number one fear that a lot of people have is because I've been asking quite a number of my clients when they come to me, so what is the thing that was holding you back the most? Because what I started to get is a lot of people will say, I started to think about this about a year ago. And I'll be like, okay, so, why did it take so long for you to make up your mind? And the one thing that everybody basically says is that they were afraid of reliving trauma, So if you maybe had a very overwhelming thing that happened at some point in your life, maybe in childhood, maybe something really terrible happened to you, maybe, somehow your body, your dignity, maybe somehow you were dishonored in a way. People are very, very concerned, obviously, that they don't want to have to relive that experience again. And the excellent, great, wonderful, fantastic news is that you don't have to. You don't have to relive the trauma. There is this idea that if you have a regression hypnosis session, in order to move past the traumatic experience, to move past the sadness and the pain or the fear or the overwhelm or the anxiety or whatever it is, that you have to relive all of those things that you have gone through, and that maybe now it's even amplified. The good news is you don't have to. There's no need for you on this planet to relive any of those experiences. What we do in regression hypnosis, and you can check it out on my website as well, ahngreatlife.com, under services. There's a link down in the description. So whether you have a session with me, whether you decide to, or maybe contemplate about having a session with someone else, doesn't really matter. The information is there. The information is available. Use it. It's there for your benefit. All right. I think a couple of things that you want to sort of ask or be sure of, though, when or prior to booking a session with someone, is you want to kind of have an idea of how they work. What is their background? What is their approach? And I would say that their goal should always be to help you live your greatest experience of life. But what I can say with confidence is that if at any point during regression there is a sense of overwhelm or trauma, a really experienced and skilled regression hypnosis practitioner should be able to get you out of there in 2 seconds, 3-second stops. All right. What you have is in the beginning of a session, even before we go into trance, your practitioner should have a conversation with you, address your concerns, answer your questions, go over the basics. What I would normally do is I will do a couple of regression hypnosis exercises with you to let you understand how quickly you can go into trance, how deeply you can go into trance, and how quickly you can actually get out of trance, and all of that within under 5 minutes. It's actually really, really amazing. And it also just really helps you to kind of like de-stress, which is really so incredible. But what would also happen is in the beginning of the session, we initiate something, or we talk something, suggest something for you, which is called a safe space. And this is a space that you associate with safety, with comfort, where nothing negative can touch you, where you feel safe, where you feel secure, where you feel confident, almost like your bubble, like your safe utopia sort of bubble, of protection. So what would happen is, if during a session you do experience something that is too overwhelming, you will automatically revert to that space, or the practitioner will speak you into that space. All right. And of course, there's always the question between sort of like, in person and sort of like online, and what if the power cuts, or we lose connection, anything like that, which probably brings us to the second. I'm just going to touch on that. I'm not going to speak about it too much, but which brings us basically to one of the second, I think, biggest fears that people have when it comes to regression hypnosis, and that is that you can get stuck in trance. Now, trance is a natural state of being, and we automatically go into it a couple of times a day, whether we are consciously aware of it or not. And, two simple, very kind of like relatable examples of that is that when you make yourself your favorite beverage, like a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, whatever it is that you are making, your favorite cocktail, or maybe you are sort of like driving away, from this space to that space, or you're commuting, whatever, you're on a plane, you're on a bus, whatever the case may be. There's a space where your mind sometimes step out a little bit and you're not aware of the journey. And so suddenly you realize like, oh my goodness, I already made my beverage, or I already reached my destination. And you almost feel like you may have been absent-minded, which in a sense you were, but also you were very present. And that is really the hypnotic state. You kind of go into a more relaxed state. And then if for any reason you do need to become present, if anything does require your attention and your full consciousness, then you snap back into it just like that. And that is exactly the same thing that happens in regression hypnosis. And in actual fact, your senses amplify. So if for any reason you do need to become fully conscious, whether the practitioner suggests this to you or not, you will just become fully conscious. All right. So I think the biggest thing, I must say, the biggest thing that I find is the concern that, that you might need to relive what you have previously gone through. And I am very happy to let you know that you don't have to relive the experience, because what happens in trance is you can actually be inside of the experience. So if it's like a pleasant experience, and if it's something really nice and it's something very beautiful and uplifting, then obviously, you can by all means experience that with every part and every sense of your being. But if, for example, it's a challenging situation, it's an unclear situation, it's a hurtful, panicky sort of situation, what would normally happen is, you can sort of become the observer of the situation, which means you can either, something that I like to do is I kind of place a situation in a clear globe. And then this is a very powerful globe. So the globe is made of glass, but it's a powerful sort of like, almost like a magical sort of globe. And only you have the authority to decide what goes into this globe and what leaves this globe. Nothing else, no one else, not even me. So you are the one that has complete dominion over what you see and what you release. Or, maybe you might see things on like a television screen, or maybe like in a mirror or something like that. And so what happens is, when we do that, you become the observer of the situation. And because you observe the situation instead of reliving the situation, you typically get more information about the situation. Because here is something that some of you may have wondered about, is that what happens sometimes in life, you might be able to get a very clear grasp of somebody else's situations very quickly. You might be able to give them advice that works very quickly. But when it comes to you, you are never able to help yourself. And then sometimes we get very frustrated because we are able to help everybody else except ourselves. And the reason for that is that human beings are biased by nature. It is in our nature to be biased. It sort of just is what it is. It's part of our blueprint. It's part of our makeup. So if there is a choice going forward that you might possibly have to live something that is to your detriment, that choice basically won't present itself to your mind. Because remember, when you give advice to other people, even if you give it from the most beautiful part of your own heart, the simple truth is that you don't have to live the possible consequences of that outcome. So, no matter if something's got like 99%, a success rate or a possible success rate, that 1% that's over there can naturally freak the mind out. And because the mind is geared towards protecting you, if there is that 1% chance that things may not work out, that things may go south for you, they may not go as north as you would have, liked or hoped or expected. And I think with probably any solution in life, that possibility is always there. Your mind is not going to present that possibility to yourself, to you, because, obviously you might need to live that, unfavorable sort of possibility. So that is one of the reasons why a lot of times in life we are able to help others, but we're not able to help ourselves. And so what happens in regression hypnosis when you've got a challenging situation, when you place a little bit of distance between yourself and the actual experience, so you become basically the observer of the experience, you first of all get to see more because you begin to look at the situation in an unbiased sort of way. You get to see more, you get to understand more, and also you get all those details without needing to have that experience, without needing to have that pain and that fear and that anxiety, even maybe a sense of like animosity maybe. You don't have to have all of those sort of things. And because you don't have all of those sort of things, and you already have placed that sort of distance between yourself and the situation, it's always easier to let go of something when it's not like this. Because when it's like this, and this is the fear that a lot of people have, is that you need to have that experience, you have to live it again, it's part of you, it's personal, it's my experience, it's my pain, it's my overwhelm, it's my problem, it's very me and I, me and I, me and I. But when you place that distance between I am here and the problem is over there, then you already sort of begin to disassociate from it. And because you begin to disassociate from it, you also already begin to heal from it. And so you can heal from very, 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 very deep pain within you. Even if you still experience that pain on a daily basis, you can begin to separate from it. And some people find it very, very amazing. It doesn't happen with everyone, but it happens with, I would say, the majority of people. That some people find it very amazing that you can step in through the door, my door, with all of these heavy emotions and feelings inside, and when you walk out the door, you actually feel really, really amazing. Because I think the overall sort of consensus is that after regression hypnosis session, you feel very tired, you feel very drained, you feel very overwhelmed. But the direct opposite is true. You feel energized, you feel positive, you feel ready to live your greatest experience of life, because you have left behind so much of the sort of like invisible emotional baggage that you've been carrying with you. And because you've released all of that, it feels like you had this amazing, incredible Maldives sort of holiday, really. So it's really, really cool. So just for those of you that might be concerned that, that the experience itself might be like those sort of like series and movies and things that you see online, that is just, it's heart gripping, it's heart wrenching, it's horrible. The experience itself is absolutely nothing like that. It's literally the direct opposite of that. All right. So I have, as I said, loaded a couple of these kind of videos on my channel already. I will do more of these sort of videos. You can always obviously just check in every week for your weekly guidance with my zodiac readings, and check out my website, ahngreatlife.com, for more information. But from my heart, namaste, love and light. Bye.